Hi, I'm Ann Shapiro, Director of the Connecticut Storytelling Center. We produce the annual Connecticut Storytelling Festival and Conference. This year it's April 23rd and 24th. It's all going to be virtual and we're going to have a lot of fun together. We have a great variety of storytellers performing and giving workshops, and one of them is Saul Fussiner. He is going to be telling Saturday night at Saturday Night 5. So Saul, I wanted to ask you, how did you get into storytelling?
Okay, so storytelling for me started with a different kind of storytelling. It started from writing plays, and I got a MFA, a Master of Fine Arts in Dramatic Writing from NYU. So back then, we would study a lot of these sort of storytelling theorists, mainly to think about how to tell a story in plays or in screenplays, like La Segre, Sid Field, Aristotle, Joseph Campbell. And so we were constantly thinking about what makes a good story, what makes a protagonist, what makes struggle, what makes connection between human beings. And then I spent some years as a screenwriter. Um, and when I stopped, when I wasn't writing screenplays quite as much, I got a call from Christopher Arnott, who's a theater critic with the Hartford Courant. And at the time he was doing something called Get to the Point, and it was a storytelling show on Monday nights. And I knew about it, but I was never going because I'm a teacher and it was a school night. But he invited me to tell a story there. And when I went, I decided, okay, what kind of story do I want to tell? I want to tell something that's like based on a mistake I made in my life that might be humorous and people might learn something and also sort of laugh a little bit about that. And then I realized I'd made lots of mistakes in my life. So every month I would tell another story at Cafe 9. For a whole year, I told stories. Every month there would be a new story about something I'd done wrong in my life. And that helped me. What I started to love about storytelling out loud, personal storytelling, was that I could sort of start to understand why things happened in my life because when you tell a story version of it, you have to get that little kernel that you remember. You have to think about everything else that was going on around that time that affected that, to give context, to give background, etc. And it was a way of helping me understand my own life. So I got pretty addicted to that. And then after a year of doing that, the Institute Library and Arnie Pritchard started this workshop on storytelling. So I went to that too. And then through that, I started storytelling all around the state, and a little bit in New York City. And then it started to intersect with my teaching, which I was teaching at a school at that time where I was teaching these really difficult histories like the Holocaust and the Troubles in Northern Ireland and other difficult histories. But that led me to go to Poland, and my family, most of my family was killed in the Holocaust. So I felt this personal connection to Poland and to learning about that history. So I started telling stories about being in Poland and seeking out my family's history. And then when I went to Ireland, similar things happened where I feel like when I'm in a foreign country, like when I'm in Poland or when I'm in Ireland, people will tell me stories. They'll share things with me, the kinds of things that they might keep secret um, among their friends, but to a welcoming stranger, they can share these sort of things. And one of those stories was when I was in Northern Ireland, and a man whose father had been killed on Bloody Sunday in Derry was giving me a tour of the town of Derry. And because I wanted to see the parade of the Protestants, he decided, in a gesture of defending me, he decided to join me and go and watch that. And as we were leaving that parade, he said to me, you know, I've heard those drums all my life, and that's the first time I've ever seen that parade. And that became the theme of my series of Irish stories, which I call I've Heard Those Drums All My Life. And then I have a series of stories about the Holocaust, one of which, and about my own trips to Poland, one of which I'm going to share at the Connecticut Storytelling Festival, where I'll talk about a Polish Catholic security guard that I made this. I feel I made a sort of a connection an unlikely connection with this person, despite all my family's personal history. And so that, and so I think in the end, this storytelling thing is about seeking and finding empathy with other people. And I think a lot for the audiences, that's what it's about too. And so that's what keeps me doing it. It's finding the human connection in these stories that frequently deal with difficult histories, and then with a present life story of making connections to other people. So that's where I'm at right now with stories, is especially thinking about what joins us all together, and what makes people with histories um, of separation and of conflict against one another, what brings them together, what joins them, and um, what makes for honest healing, uh, and human connection between unlikely partners. I'd say that's what my storytelling has become about more recently.
That's great. That we need it now more than ever, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to seeing you at the festival. And we hope our audiences feel that connection with each other and with the storytellers.
Yeah.
Thanks, Saul.
Okay. Thank you.